Yeah, for sure. And speaking of this conference, let's talk about the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to be honest, man. On a scale of 1 to 10, my worry for this team, I'm sitting at an 8.5 right now. And that's just purely out of respect for Lamar Jackson and John Harbaugh and the winning
Dang.
culture that they have. But the offensive line is bad. The defense, we're seeing some effects that I was worried that we were going to see with this team. Mike McDonald gone. 7 key rotational or starter level pieces from this defense gone. You know, they couldn't stop Gardner Minshew in the second half. He was dotting them up all up, and then they couldn't convert on offense because of that offensive line either, man.
Yeah.
And they're 0-2. And unlike the Bengals, they do have a first place schedule. Their next 3 games are at Dallas, home for Buffalo, and at Cincinnati. Like, there's a world where the Ravens start off 0-5. And
A couple games after that too. They play the Buccaneers, are a tough
yeah,
game. Like, who knows what could happen there?
they play Philly later this year too. I know that. So it's not an easy schedule by any means for Baltimore. And this is why early on in the season I predicted this team to go 10-7. And people killed me for that. They said that the Baltimore Ravens were the best team in the NFL last year, the MVP. They're not going to go 10-7. You're crazy. They're going to win this division, winning 14, 15 games. And I said, whoa, dude. Like, progression is not linear in the NFL, especially when you lose that many key pieces. 3 starting offensive linemen, 7 key rotational players, and your defensive coordinator. That's just not an easy thing to recover from. And we're seeing it hit the Ravens early on. Where are you at 1-10 for this team? I'm concerned.
10.
Okay.
Yeah, bro, it's a 10. Like, they have the first place schedule. Not to mention that the defense is in shambles. I would have never in a million years thought the Ravens would lose a game where the other team doesn't even rush for 40 yards. How does that even happen? So your defense is in shambles. This offense isn't designed to beat anybody in a shootout. Lamar Jackson, he's going to play hero ball. How long can he sustain that without getting hurt? He's losing weight every single year. When he starts the season for the last year or two, he's been losing weight, coming in a little bit slimmer. How much can he keep up? You know, this hero ball play style. He's not built like Josh Allen. He doesn't even have the arm strength of Josh Allen. I don't trust this offense. I don't trust this run game, for honestly, because they don't know what their identity is. They try to give Derrick Henry the ball, and then the last 2 or 3 drives of last game, he barely touched the ball. What was that about? You're playing the Raiders, man. Run the ball. I get it. They have one of the defensive player of the year candidates in Max Crosby, but you got to stick to your identity, man, when the game is close like that. And I just feel like this team doesn't know what their identity is. You give Isaiah Likely all these targets week 1. Week 2, he's really a no-show for the most part. Then you try to Zay Flowers. You basically went away from him last game the entire second half. I think he only had like 2 or 3 targets.
He was like retweeting posts saying that
exactly.
too. I mean, like, it's not a great look. But
exactly. This team right now, I don't trust their stability. They have there's nothing consistent with this team. I would be alarmed, man, because they have one of the top 3 hardest schedules in the NFL. And honestly, man, they can't stop nobody. And when you can't stop nobody on defense and you can't win a shootout, already that's alarming. So that's why I give them a 10.
I saw a graph, like a mathematical statistic percentage based like solely on like strength of schedule based on what we've seen for the first 2 weeks and how they've played, etc., that had Baltimore with less percentage of a shot to make the playoffs than the Carolina Panthers. Now, I'm not willing to go that far, but the numbers behind things are also suggesting that Baltimore is in some serious trouble. I think this team battles back. I do believe in the fight. I do believe in Lamar. I do believe in John Harbaugh, in the culture that they have there. And I do believe the defense will figure some things out. Again, all that turnover, it's going to take a little bit to get going. And the NFL gave them no favors with, 4 of their first 5 games being against great quarterbacks, or good, if you want to call Dak not great, whatever you want to say there. But really good passing offenses for a secondary that had a lot of turnover in it. The team is missing Patrick Queen. You could see what a big difference he makes for your Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, he comes in and that defense looks like it might be top 3 in the NFL. Meanwhile, the Baltimore Ravens are struggling right now defensively in a bad way. But, I think they battle back. And I think the same way for Cincinnati, that I was like, well, at least the Ravens are 0-2. for the Ravens. At least the Bengals are 0-2. At least they know Pittsburgh's got that tough schedule, and they know the Browns are the Browns. Like, it's not unrecoverable by any means, but there's a lot of clear signs as to why Baltimore should be concerned right now.
Yeah, but the Ravens also do have the hardest schedule in their division. So, I mean, yeah, that is true. I just want to see how this kind of is going to affect Lamar's legacy, because you win MVP and then possibly miss the playoffs next year.
Yeah, if he stays healthy and they miss the playoffs, that's a bad look.
Yeah, and like to miss the playoffs in the smack prime after you've already won 2 MVPs, now you're just now really, really entering the prime of your career, and you miss the playoffs. How are we going to look at Lamar Jackson? How are we going to look at their head coach now? Like, I know this sounds crazy, but could he be on the hot seat? Who knows how this season ends?
Definitely not on the hot seat, in my opinion.
Who knows how this season can? Who knows, man?
Yeah, the hot seat's a little far for me, but